Hello, I want to introduce you to a couple more of the classes that we're going to offer this summer from Birmingham Theological Seminary. My name is Dr. Thad James Jr., and I'm the Vice President at BTS. And we have with us Dr. Vic Minish, who is in our Apologetic department, and then also Mr. Brandon Robbins, who's our Director of Distance Education. And now Brandon will give you a little bit more information about this particular degree program.
Well, it's great to have this opportunity to really talk about our Masters of Arts in Public Theology. The Masters of Arts in Public Theology has three particular branches that we wanted to kind of bring together into one program. Many of our students are wanting to be missionaries or focus on missions. And so the Public Theology has a branch with missiology and students that really want to be missionaries or focus on the study of missions. The next branch is Apologetics, those students that really want to focus on engaging people and defending the faith. And then lastly, of course, evangelism. Not that it is last, but it's the third prong of this overall degree program in public theology. This summer, we have an opportunity for two classes that are part of the core in which people that are focusing on one of those three areas would be coming together. These core classes are important for students that are doing missions. It's important for students who are doing apologetics, and they're also important for students that are doing evangelism. And so Dr. James is going to be teaching a course on what are you calling the course again?
Cross-cultural
communications. That's right. And then Dr. Minish and I are going to be working on a course on introduction to critical thinking and philosophy at the same time. And so we're going to be working together on that course. So Dr. Minish, why don't you explain a little bit about the course that we'll be doing this summer?
Well, the course that we're doing is a basic introduction to philosophy and critical thinking. And what we mean when we're saying critical thinking is basic forms of logic, the way conversations need to go, arguments are constructed, and those kinds of things. And looking at the whole history of philosophy, what philosophy does, and how it is sort of the handmaiden to theology and can work in assisting us to defend the Christian faith. So one of the important things about the course is, first of all, to assume that our students have little to no background about philosophy. Most folks are coming from universities and a college education that didn't emphasize philosophy. And so we understand that, and we want to make sure that this is bringing them into that great conversation and allows them to not have to be afraid or fearful about engaging the material. And we'll start from the very beginning and work our way forward.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I like how you said that we're not assuming that students are coming in with a lot of tools to do critical thinking and philosophy. They shouldn't be afraid. Sometimes theology students and Bible students are a little bit afraid of this philosophy stuff, but we're not that scary.
Right. My undergraduate degree with it was in health, physical education, and recreation. And so when I first went to seminary, it was, trying to drink from a fire hose instead of a water fountain. And I had to sort of go back to the very beginning and learn things anew. Well, this is the course that helps students that have come from a similar background to the one that I had, where it's all moving forward, and it's all new material. And, the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's where we're going to start.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm looking forward to it. I love hanging out with Vic. And so I'm excited just to really learn from him and hang out in the class. And I feel like partially being a professor and helping Vic, kind of being his aide in it, but also getting a chance to learn from him is going to be exciting. So I think you're going to have a lot of fun if you take that course, and we're going to try to make it fun as much as possible. And Dr. James, why don't you tell them about your exciting course and how much fun you're going to have with your students this summer?
When you think about what both of you guys just said, the whole thing about philosophy, thinking, critical thinking. And one of the things I think that's really we're struggling with within, and not just within America, I think really throughout the world, is that we kind of have a tendency to stop thinking. And so we're seeking to be amused. And muse means to think. When you put the A in there, you negate it. So what are we doing? We've come into a place where we are not thinking. And part of this class is how do we communicate one to another? For those of you that are in relationships, you know that men and women struggle with talking to each other. Not only that, but we have north, south, east, west, we have rural, we have urban, we have suburban. And throughout America, no matter where you are, there are cultural languages, there are cultural idioms that we face. And how do we speak, excuse me, one to another? Let alone when we're talking about people from other cultures, other nationalities, other ethnic groups, socioeconomic groups. We have a lot of barriers that we face in trying to communicate one to another. And so also all of us have a worldview. And that's a German word, Weltanschauung. Welt meaning world, Anschauung meaning look onto the world. So now how do I figure out, how do I decide, why do I think the way that I think? We are bombarded with all sorts of media. We're bombarded with all sorts of advertising, all these things trying to influence the way that we think. And even more so in the Western world, that we think that everybody should think like we think. So when we go out of America, we can struggle because we don't understand how. I go to Africa once a year for a month to teach, and I've been doing that for, almost 10 years now. But every time I go over there, it's really more of a learning process for me to understand. We have students from 14 different nations, and not just in Africa, but we've had some from South Korea, from Australia, New Zealand, from other places. And again, how do these other people, how do they think? What is their language? You know, one of the things that's always funny is we expect everybody to be time conscious like we are. Well, a lot of countries could care less about time. And so do we understand people? So that's really what we want to talk about. And then in conjunction, you know, Jesus gave us in Matthew 28, he gave us the Great Commission. We're to start in Jerusalem at home, to Judea, Samaria, and the outermost parts of the world. Well, if I don't know how to communicate with someone, then I can't do the Great Commission. And then we have, along with that, the Imago Dei, made in the image of God. And do we really, really, in our hearts of hearts, really believe that all people are made in the image of God and worthy of dignity and respect and love? So that's what we're going to be talking about is let's eliminate some of the cultural biases, the stereotypes, the presuppositions that we may have about people. And what do I know about someone else? I can make assumptions and say that, okay, well, you know, I know Brandon and he goes to X church and he lives in X community. And so what do? Well, I immediately, in what little I know, try to form something about Brandon Robbins. Okay, Vic lives in Anniston. What do I know about Anniston? So immediately I try to put him into a box without ever really getting to know him. So those are the things that we do without even thinking about it. And now how do we overcome those things?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about these two courses over the summer, and any students that are really interested in missions, that are interested in evangelism, that are interested in apologetics, either or both of these courses are really just a great opportunity to engage in topics and studies that'll kind of aid you in those things that you're already passionate about, because that's why you want to pursue the Master's in Public Theology or even some of the other degrees in which these courses are required or as possible electives. And just know that I know that there's a lot of uncertainty about the summer and what's going to be possible with the coronavirus. Just know that I'm here, Thad's here to help you from a technical side, to enable you to have a really rich educational experience this summer. We're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that we organize the classes in such a way that'll meet your needs, that'll help you gain a greater understanding of God's Word and applying that into the areas, whether it be philosophy and critical thinking or cross-cultural communication. We're here to help you, so please reach out to any of us for any questions that you might have about these particular courses or any courses that we're offering at BTS this summer. And we're just really glad to serve you in your educational pursuits. And thank you for watching this video.
One more thing, go to bts.education, and then can click on Start Your Journey, and we can get you going from there. So thank you everybody for listening.
And thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you.